Alright, I wanted to point out one of the most interesting things that I've ever seen on Google Earth. Now, if you notice, I got the timeline on right now. This is 1930. We're at high altitude of 1,021 miles. Pretty far up. You usually can't make anything out from this level anywhere, except for here in Paraguay. Now, I just wanted to show you that as far back as you could go on this timeline of Google Earth, that there's been these squares and these weird patterns in Paraguay. Now, Paraguay, I know in the 50s had a population of just over 6 million people. There's always been some type of crazy strife going on there. Always switching dictatorships over, coups, civil unrest, and it's not known for. It's known for some agricultural products and stuff, but well, anyway, I want to show you just the major engineering that's gone on to this country that I've never seen anywhere else, and no one ever talks about. I've looked, and there's no good explanation for this. Let this get focused in. Alright, I just wanted to show some of this mass grading work that's gone on here on Google Earth in Paraguay. Now we're still above 600 miles above the Earth, and you can already see all these weird patterns. Just in Paraguay, like pretty much the whole rest of the world. Now we're at 430 miles of elevation. Here's New York, Boston, here's Long Island. We can't see any real patterns here. No patterns at all. Now this is New York, Boston. Here's Florida. No real, maybe a couple little tiny lines. And there's major cities here, all along the Gulf Coast. Major cities. Texas. All these areas. No real, well, there's a little square you can see there. I remember this is at 436 miles elevation. Or elevation. Now let's go back to Paraguay. Now we're at 332.5 miles above. And you can kind of see a little bit of pattern there. At 1,900 miles above, you can definitely see patterns. Here, and here, and here. And nowhere else on the planet is like this. And this is major grading job. Major work. And there's no good explanation for this. Now we're just a little bit above where we were when we were looking over New York and all that. And if you look, there's definite patterns. If you put on timeline on Google Earth, put it back to as far back as you can go, there's the patterns. far back we could get this. The 40s, the 30s. There's the patterns. Now this is like, when you can't see anything, this is at a higher altitude than we were looking over America. And look at this. All over. All over. And it's not new stuff. It's been here for at least since as far back as you could go on Google Timeline. And it's amazing. And it's everywhere in Paraguay. And this has got to be the biggest mystery to mankind. Now this looks like new growth crops, like new growth circles. But to do all this would take such engineering. It's such a major engineering feat. It's mind-boggling. And it goes on and on. And this has got to be the biggest mystery ever. Everywhere. Everywhere. We're talking about miles and miles and miles. Perfectly straight lines. Perfect grids. I know that there's some recent tractor work that's gonna account for some of this, but not for all of it. Not for all of it. And if you look for yourself in Paraguay, it's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. This goes on and on and on. The whole country, like perfectly straight lines, perfect canal systems, perfect grids everywhere. Major engineering. Very impressive, even if it was done in our time. So that's about 37.8 miles right there. A perfect line in the middle of nowhere. This line here. Now, 23 miles. It's not a very populated place. But this type of engineering is mind-boggling. Anybody that knows how hard it is will vouch for what I'm saying. It's perfect grids. And this goes on everywhere. Everywhere. Now, this is right down the hill from Cusco and all those crazy places. up in these hills is, here's Lake Titicaca here. There's some weird stuff around here too. But anyway, so just right down the mountain from there, from where, you know, all the Tiwanaku and all those ancient building places are, is where all this starts. This is mind-boggling. See this? Now, Ancient Aliens has nothing on this shit. This is crazy. And they haven't even talked about it. There's no explanation for all this mass grave work out in the middle of nowhere. The people of Paraguay always thought that this was like the wild Amazon area, the jungle. What's up with all this, people? I think that there's some type of code here that, if it could be broken, will tell us everything about us. Anyway, tell me what you think.